In my last video, I talked about the Yankees' big X factor offensively coming off of injury in Jazz Chisholm Jr. Today, I want to talk about something that we've been seeing for the past 2 to 3 weeks, which is a starting rotation that right now is playing at a postseason level. What's going on, guys? It's the King of 161st June. I'm back in another video, and I want to start off with the man of the hour, the guy who just got us our first win in Washington, Nestor Cortes Jr. Nestor Cortes now put up his best scoreless streak of his entire career of over 20 innings. Yes, he had 20 1/3 innings, no run baseball, and that's over his last 3 starts. He has gone 7 or into the 7th inning in his last 3 starts. He has been absolutely electric, and I'm not talking about electric in that he's lighting up the radar gun, because that's never going to be what Nestor Cortes does. But he has been electric in the fact that he's just been a grinder. He's been able to use that cutter up and in, able to have some mean break on his slider, able to get that fastball to play higher than it actually is based on the life of its pitch. He has been absolutely amazing. This run is better than any run he had in 2022, which is saying something, because in 2022, Nestor Cortes was an all-star. We're gonna need Nestor Cortes to be at a level approximating this in the postseason, because yes, we do have Garrett Cole, who has playoff experience, who's won a championship. But overall, this rotation has been a little inconsistent. And with the offense stepping up the way it has, with Aaron Judge doing what he's doing, with Juan Soto doing what he's doing, and the rest of the guys being able to prove they could win a game by themselves in tonight's game against the Nationals. Starting pitching is going to be a huge X factor. There are multiple parts to this game where we're going to need players to step up, and Nestor Cortes is probably the biggest guy we need to step up when it matters most. The next guy I want to get to, Marcus Stroman. Marcus Stroman, although he did struggle a little bit in his last start against Colorado, he was not helped by his defense and had a tough first inning, but was able to grind his way to 5 innings of 3-run baseball, pretty much a quality start, and that is now 2 straight quality starts, with the one game in Detroit in the Little League Classic where he went 7 innings of no-run baseball. Marcus Stroman, he's doing the opposite of what Nestor Cortes is doing with the similar repertoire. He's actually a bottom 2 player in baseball when it comes to velocity, averaging only 89.9 miles an hour. But what Marcus Stroman does best is he's able to find corners and force soft contact. When Marcus Stroman is on, you're not going to see sparkling numbers when it comes to the strikeouts. When Marcus Stroman is on, what you're going to see are lazy fly balls to right field, lazy fly balls to the second baseman. He's a play to contact pitcher, and lately he has been getting back to playing to soft contact. I've talked about this when I was talking about Clay Holmes. When you are a play to contact pitcher, you are somewhat playing with fire, because when you play to contact, you can't let them get a barrel on it. Once they get the barrel on it, that's when you get home run after home run. But Marcus Stroman has had a career full of avoiding barrel, and over his last few starts, we have seen exactly that. Him not giving up the long ball as much. Him keeping the ball on the ground, if not a lazy fly ball. That is when Marcus Stroman is at his best. And like I've said in previous videos, a guy like Marcus Stroman is huge come postseason time because of his ground ball rate. Because the most effective way to get runs is a home run. And even though he does play to contact, October weather forces hitters to not have as much power as they once would. Having a guy like Marcus Stroman who is locked in is huge, because he will be the ultimate innings eater come postseason time. Overall, I am loving what I'm seeing out of Marcus Stroman. The next guy I want to talk about is Carlos Rodon. Carlos Rodon has had 3 of his last 4 starts have 3 or less runs, with 2 of them being 0-run outing. Carlos Rodon has finally taken Yankee fans' advice when it comes to his pitch mix. He is no longer a guy who is going to give you fuck you fastball. That was his specialty early in the season. And you know what happened? He got fucking burned. No one was afraid of that pitch. Yes, he still throws the fastball from time to time, but he makes sure it's at least above the zone or it's hitting corners. He's no longer giving fastballs right down the middle. He's been using the slider a whole lot more, and it's been a huge pitch for Carlos Rodon. Him being able to change speeds is something that was desperately needed, along with Carlos Rodon developing his changeup back. And yes, he does throw the occasional curveball. The 3-pitch mix now of the fastball, slider, and changeup, being able to switch speeds effectively. Because back when it was 80% fastball, 20% slider, and nothing else, it was not effectively changing speeds. Yes, it was going from 95, 96 down to about 89, but it was all on the same plane. It was all ending up in basically the same areas. When you incorporate the changeup more and more, it's finally a pitch that's darting down, because Carlos Rodon has a very different changeup than the one that Luis Gil had. Luis Gil has what's called a power changeup that has extra movement on it that adds an extra bit of speed. Carlos Rodon has a traditional changeup, meaning it looks like a fastball and dies. Having that pitch in his repertoire is huge for getting swings and misses, because like I've said in the past, no one's afraid of Carlos Rodon's fastball. But when you add that changeup as a component that hitters have to keep in the back of their mind, that fastball looks a little faster. That's when Carlos Rodon is most effective. And that is exactly what he's done over his past 4 to 5 starts. And look, Carlos Rodon is getting paid like a number 2. He will be huge come postseason time, because we are going to need exactly this. We are going to need a guy who is proving that he earned the contract coming out of San Francisco, proving that he's the same guy that was coming out of Chicago with all that hype. Maintaining his worth is going to be huge in postseason time, because most likely he will be a Game 2 or Game 3 starter, which are arguably the most important games in swaying momentum in a series. So Carlos Rodon has a big challenge coming up in October, but if he maintains this pitch mix, he will be deadly come postseason time. Now the rest of the rotation is where you get a little bit of a scare. Right now, our 5th starter in the rotation, Will Warren, he's not ready for Major League Baseball. He has the movement on his pitches. I like to use the term spin that shit. He has an inept ability to spin that shit like no one else. The problem is it's predictable spin, meaning when he throws it, it becomes like a mental clock in a hitter's head. They know exactly when he's going to throw it, how he's going to throw it, where the pitch is going to end up. And that is why he's been getting shelled. Will Warren was not pitching well in AAA, probably because of this inept ability to be able to mix his pitches up at a major league level. I feel like more seasoning in the minors would have benefited him mightily. And I know he's only up right now because Luis Gil is out with an injury, and we'll get to Luis in a second. I think it's time to try out a different AAA arm until Luis is able to come back. Maybe a Chase Hampton, maybe even a guy like Clayton Beeter, who we got in the Joey Gallo trade. I'm not 100% sure who to go to. Something has to change. Will Warren has a lot of potential. Will he be a good major league starter? Probably someday. But today is not that day. He is not ready. His stuff is too raw, but he does have a lot of talent. You gotta foster the talent correctly in order to make it productive. Keeping him in the major leagues right now will delay his development by years, and he may never get to where he wants to be. Next up, we got the only reason Will Warren is in the major leagues right now. It's Luis Gil. And look, did he probably lose the Rookie of the Year based off of this injury? Probably. The way he was pitching before that was a big concern. His walk ability is back. He finds a way to put himself into trouble. I think a product of some of the bad portions of these starts does fall a little bit on having Austin Wells back there, who's a rookie, because dealing with a rookie is a whole different ballgame than dealing with a veteran as a catcher. As a catcher, that's a rookie. Dealing with a veteran, he'll kind of walk you through what he likes, what he knows is effective. Trying to work with a rookie, yes, when everything is going, things are probably smooth. Early in the season for Luis Gil, back when he was the runaway rookie of the year. Probably a very smooth transition for both guys to work together. But once things start to fall apart, mechanically, mentally, anyway, both guys are new to how to handle this. And neither guy knows exactly what works. And that's where you get a major problem. I do believe some of these bad starts could have been neutralized if we did have a guy like Jose Trevino catching Luis Gil. But yes, Jose Trevino was injured for a lot of the month of August. So it was not a possibility to get someone with experience to catch Luis Gil. And I don't know how much this injury has taken out of him in terms of control, because now he's on the 15-day IL with a lower back strain. Hopefully he comes back and he looks like himself, because when Luis Gil is on, I've said this countless times, he has one of the best changeups I've seen in a long time. Having 99 in the back pocket and being able to have the movement and use it effectively, it's deadly. And come October, having a wild card like that would be huge. But we don't know what Luis Gil's health status will be, so we're gonna have to just hope for the best in that scenario. Good thing that we have the last pitcher on the list, and we saved the best for last. His name is Gerrit Cole. Gerrit Cole, with World Series experience, is a World Series champion, and he is finding his stuff. A month ago, we would look at Gerrit Cole and say, well, I don't know if he really has it right now. Let's be clear. He is only 1 or 2 months removed from coming back from having a swollen elbow, a scary injury that could have had him out for the whole season. Thank God it didn't, because he is back to being prime Gerrit Cole over his past 3 to 4 starts. Gerrit Cole has had 3 straight starts of 1 or less earned run. I was concerned about Gerrit Cole based on the fact that he was injured, but no one should have been concerned about Gerrit Cole in terms of ability. Gerrit Cole has the most ability on the team. He has the best pitch mix. He knows how to use his pitches. He knows how to work with a catcher well. Gerrit Cole is the stabilizing force in this rotation, and having him back has kind of settled the rest of the pitchers down, knowing there's not as much pressure on them because they don't have to live up to Gerrit Cole, because Gerrit Cole is here. Obviously, Gerrit Cole is going to be a big part of being in October, but not just for his play. It's going to be also for the mentorship. And I'm not even just talking about the younger guys. The mentorship in terms of telling some of the veterans, even guys like Marcus Stroman, Nestor Cortez, what they're doing wrong, what they need to improve on, how to further improve their game as it's going on. Luis Gil has credited Gerrit Cole with being a great mentor. Once it becomes October, it is going to be paramount that everyone is on their A game. And who knows how to get their A game better than Gerrit Cole in that clubhouse? I could argue nobody. So Gerrit Cole is going to be one of the most important pieces out of the entire team when it comes to a playoff run. And now that he's coming into his own, it could be scary what this team could do in the postseason, especially if you get some of these role players in the field to start to hit. Guys like Anthony Volpe, who just had 3 hits last night. You had Verdugo, who had 3 hits. Jazz Chisholm had another home run. That's 8 with the team. Austin Wells, it is 10th home run of the season. He has been on fire since June. If you have these guys hitting at a high level, there's no telling where this team could go. And that's a huge part because of the pitching staff that the Yankees have built. What do you guys think about this starting rotation? Do you think the Yankees rotation has what it takes to win in October? Do you think they're a little thin? Let me know down below. Like the video if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new. I'm out of here. Take care and peace.